Question. Please go ahead.
I'll just go back to the point that spitting and these problems that we inherently say that it is our. But look at when Commonwealth happened. During those 14 days, these same Delhiites were not getting into that blue corridor because of the fear of the law, because he knows he'll be penalized for 2,000 bucks.
Exactly. Good point. Yeah.
I mean, that's surprising. How is it possible?
Maybe we need a danda, not the Chinese
but
danda.
Unfortunately, our democracy does not allow us to wield the danda.
No,
we should have had the danda.
Democracy does not mean I can infringe on the right of others. We have to understand democracy correctly.
Yeah.
So we have often, democracy doesn't mean anarchy. Yeah. Democracy doesn't mean you can spit on my face, you know.
I just want to ask one quick question to the audience, and again by show of hands, which is that how many of you now believe that it's not just the government, but we as individual citizens have also got to take some of the blame for the taint on Brand India today? If you can raise your hands if you believe we're all at fault as well. Okay, so the majority now believe that way. We've talked about what is Brand India. We've also talked about the strengths and weaknesses of Brand India. In this final segment, we're going to talk about how do we re-energize, reconstruct and strengthen Brand India further. Let's talk about the government side first in terms of solutions, then the individual side. How do we deal with our government then?
I just say that we should have a strong leadership. We should not have a remote control leadership.
What is a strong leadership?
Strong PM. We should have, first we have a strong PM, we can have a very good brand.
We should have a system where everybody should be accountability.
The institution of the Lokpal is very topical. Is that one way of doing it, at least as far as the political class is concerned?
No, political leaders are making money, nothing else. They are not service-oriented at all.
Should we have a right to recall our political representatives? Hands up those who believe we should do that.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, okay, so we have another majority opinion over here. Michael Ferreira, how do we strengthen our democracy then, which is one of the key elements of Brand India?
None of us can change the world. Not one of us can change our country.
So where do we begin?
We begin with ourselves.
Okay.
If we start making a sincere effort to change ourselves, then we're getting somewhere.
What are you going to do, Michael, to change yourself and therefore the society around you?
Well, I try to make it a discipline to follow the laws of the country for a start. Okay? I try to make my sense of civic consciousness impact the members of my community where I reside, and that's all I can do. I cannot extend it beyond that. Hopefully this will have a multiplier effect which will have an overall benefit to society.
What I can do personally, and each one of us in this country can do personally, and I am doing it, I would say in a very humble way, is to yourself. Help somebody to get educated, even if it's one person. This whole teach one, each one, or each one, teach one was a great slogan. But how many of us do it? How many of you can say, please put your hands up, that I am responsible for teaching one child, not my own child, but a child who is very good. There are 2 or 3 hands up. There should be 20, 30, 40 hands. If you can honestly say that you are making your own individual effort to help somebody to stand on their own feet.
You have an NGO, I know that, which is running local education programs. Sudhir Mishra, I want to ask you, as somebody in the audience just said a few minutes ago, political leaders are simply a reflection of society. So the point is, we talk about the Lokpal and Ansat staff, okay, but how do we begin at the grassroots level?
One key word that can define India, it's malnourished. It is? In all ways. We are malnourished. We are malnourished in the mind. We are malnourished in terms of essential nutrients. Our children are malnourished. Our minds are malnourished. It's because we've had this caste system where things have not flowed down. Those that are nourished must fight for those that are not nourished.
That means
and
everyone.
Therefore, that's the only way. And nourishment does not only mean food, in all sorts of ways.
As an individual citizen, what are you doing? What are you doing through your medium, the Hindi film industry, to make a little change?
I don't know about the Hindi film industry, but I try and make films that reflect society, and I've tried to work with people who are meritorious, and I don't work. I'm trying not to be corrupt in my own way. I'm trying to be honest to my art.
In the last few minutes, so let's talk specifics now.
Yeah.
I'm going to go one by one, beginning with Anjalila Menon. As we try and reconstruct Brand India, what should be the elements of Brand India we should be working on for the future?
There's arts, there's sports, there's the IT sector.
Michael Ferreira.
Self-awareness, self-improvement, and reverting to what Anjali said, I would like to pledge that one person will teach one. Let me know how it can be done.
The equities, the issue of equity is very important. The whole country has to come up and equitable. Yes.
When once we know that this is an equitable society, but we must build Brand India as a combination of traditionalism, because we have a great tradition in terms of the arts. The arts are where we should focus on. The arts and culture, and the humanness that we talk about in our culture must be practiced in life.
Okay, and I'll go around this panel once again, beginning with Anjali Menon. Who could be our brand ambassadors then for the future?
Perhaps it should be someone like Medha Patkar.
What about in your world, the art and culture world?
Our great ambassador has just gone, so I think we're not trying to replace him just yet.
I think the Foreign Secretary, Nirupama Rao, I think she's done a great job.
Both of you are fans of Nirupama Rao.
Oh yeah, she's a fabulous person. She could be an icon, really.
I think that the volume of travel that's taking place, each one of us is an ambassador of our country. And when we travel abroad, people watch us, people observe us. So this whole lot of...
Do we have any political brand ambassadors?
No, I think that we have enough political ambassadors. I am not so pessimistic to say that the whole world is turned upside down. We have everybody's malnourished.
Political brand ambassador the country.
There is no doubt about it. We have the most honest Prime Minister who you cannot raise your finger about when it comes to yes.
No? Okay. How do you think Manmohan Singh is the best political brand ambassador of India?
It's a whole tradition. It's a whole tradition that we have to talk about.
That's incredible actually, because 4 years ago, maybe even 2 years ago, you wouldn't have said that, right?
We're talking about the perception of the world, not the perception of us Indians who have got into this whole wave of criticizing him for everything that happens, but the perception of the world, the kind of respect that Manmohan Singh has in the world. I don't think any other politician in India could demand that kind of respect.
Okay, in the final 1 or 2 minutes, quickly with the audience, just one sentence, 5 or 6 people. Who are the role models you need to reconstruct India?
I think I'll go for Sachin Tendulkar.
A.R. Rahman.
Sridharan.
Amitabh Bachchan.
Baba Ramdev.
Nitish Kumar.
We also owe something. I don't agree with Anna Hazare in all elements. Let me be very clear. I don't agree. But I think we owe him a vote of thanks for having woken up something in us, for bringing up discussion again.
Alright, let's just sum it up this way. Brand India is a good brand. We've all agreed on that. But we also all agree that lately it has hit some rough spots. But over the last one, I think we've identified what is the vision ahead, what is the roadmap ahead as well. And perhaps we should sum up by saying, as I think everybody agrees, that we all need to play our individual parts in this in order to rebuild Brand India as well. Because at the end of the day, we all love India very much, isn't it? So with that, I want to thank all our panelists, Sudhir Mishra, Professor Kiran Walia, Michael Ferreira, Anjali Menon. Thank you very much for joining us in this debate. Thank you to the audience as well. Thank you for coming. And thank you for watching in your homes as well. Bye-bye.